quorum. Call this meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is to consider approval of the minutes from the August 8th meeting.
So moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion seconded. All in favor of approving the minutes from the August 8th meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass. And items for discussion. Turn it over to marketing plan with Ms. Sherry Moore.
I actually left out Cheryl's financial report, so if we want to do that.
Okay, first. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It should be in there, right?
Your information is in the packet, and I emailed it to everybody, but I forgot. I left it off as an agenda item. I know.
There's not really anything which y'all have questions where, we only have one more month left in the year and we're at 93% of income and 84% of expenses. That's, pretty good. So,
Sounds good to me.
On the line,
Questions?
Specific questions, I think we're okay.
Cantor anecdotes. Okay. Now, 2019 marketing plan.
I did have a chance to present our proposed budget and the marketing plan to City Council, and both were approved. I had intended by this meeting to have a printable form to hand out, because right now it's still in slide form. So in the upcoming weeks, I'll email everybody a written out copy. But basically in a nutshell, what we're going to be doing this year is focusing a lot more on building our video content of just across the board. So in our social media and our marketing efforts where we can use video, we're going to go towards using video. Stephanie had enough money left over in her budget. We're going to convert, it's the workshop, it's when you get off the elevator, it's that room, it's practically empty now. We're actually going to convert that to a freestanding video studio. It'll be pretty rudimentary for our efforts, but it'll be something that we don't have to break down and set up every time, and we can use that for the community as well. If somebody needed to do a testimonial style video, it'll be all set up. We're working in conjunction with Amy Mahaffey. She has restricted funds under her purview with the city's agreement with Suddenly called PEG money, and it has to be used for things such as that, filming or in video. And so we might be able to work in partnership with her to increase the quality of the equipment that we have, or add to the equipment. So we're...
Excuse me, are we trying to start videotaping more? Or what? I mean, I don't understand that.
In our social media post, we're trying to do more... So instead of just writing 4 sentences about the chef at Barkeeps, we could now bring him in and do a little 2-minute interview with him where he could talk about it, and we can post that. Because what we've learned from our analytics is that those videos capture more attention than text. People are now officially too busy to read. Yeah. So we're not going to be producing a television show or anything of that nature, but a video of Mike telling you 5 things to do this weekend, or of Joanna telling you the best live music acts. I think that's going to carry more weight than just a list that we can do. So it's just adding and augmenting what we're doing, but what we learned at our annual conference and what analytics consistently reinforces, that video, where you can do it, is the way to go.
So we can put things on our website then and take them off.
Or we can build a library. So I think Ms. Luna had recommended one time, as we look at this ambassador training more volunteers, we could have a video of Mike telling the history of the Sturnia House and have a library. So if somebody wanted to learn more about it, they could go to a library and click on it and then hear the story. As well as we would still have the written versions as well.
Gosh, we need to call Mike really bad, so that we can...
I just wanted to try to memorize it.
I know.
This room is going to be my laboratory. In the meantime, it's as you walk off the elevator, it's that big door. It was a workshop, is what it is on the building plan, and it's practically empty now. But it's a really great space.
Like a background wall.
It's got an exposed brick wall right now, so really.
Lighting.
Yeah, we'll do some very flattering lighting, some soft lighting, and some stationary, some equipment that we just don't have to break down.
Great. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, thanks. And it would be open to the community to use as well. So this is a pretty secure place. So anyway, building up our video in our marketing plan. And across the board in our marketing efforts, it's destination storytelling. So as Joanna is talking to groups, we're going to focus on telling the stories of Nacogdoches. We don't have a big fancy convention center and conference center. We don't have a lot that would easily cater to these groups that are coming in. So, but what we do have, we're very rich in. We have an abundance, and that is our history and our great stories. So, when we're doing sports marketing, we can tell the story of Clint Dempsey. We can tell the story of our other athletes that have been grown here naturally. So, so destination storytelling and videoing, and I reworked the metrics by which we measure our success because in the marketing plan that I walked into, it was kind of random. I don't know how introducing 2 items to the gift shop to sell really indicates that we're doing any better or worse than we were before. So we have some realistic guidelines by which to measure what we're doing. So we're constantly going to be in a state of evaluation and then adjusting as needed. So if we see something that's just not working and we've given it a fair amount of time, we want to give ourselves the breadth to readjust.
Try something different.
Yeah, to try something different. But we're positioned really well for some great success. We're still at the very, very early stages of this oil and gas recovery, which historically has proven to be very great for us in our lodging. And also the trend in the marketing of destinations is this authentic Texas experience. It's an experience-based economy, and that's something that Nacogdoches has been doing organically forever. So now we're in a position where we're already at the head of the pack. And other destinations, and some it's going to be a harder sell. So now, Austin and Dallas are going to have to try and rework their image where they've been big lights, big cities, big fun. They're going to try and reel it back to get to more of that authentic look, and we're already there. So we're really poised and positioned to do some really good things. So that, in a nutshell, is the marketing plan. I'll get you a firm copy. I am going to have it printed out in just a small magazine format to hand out to board, of course, and then all of our shareholders, so our hoteliers, our B&B owners, our Airbnb, so that it helps educate the public on what we're doing and why we're doing it, but it also gives us accountability partners to hold us to task. That's the marketing plan. Any questions?
Well, next we're looking at our technology still, correct? We've got some bids in for that.
What came up in our special meeting where we discussed the proposed budget was addressing our technology in the office, and I had gotten I did not put out an RFP, but I did ask Ryan with NACSpace, who does our voice over IP, just to put together some numbers of what it would cost to sort of get us on track of some kind of IT plan. Because what we have now are really disjointed licensing agreements on our software. No two computers have the same software on it or the same version. We're kind of scattered all over the place, and there's also no backup storage solution. So we've been lucky so far that we haven't really lost any data, but we would like to not wait to react to a situation like that, but plan in advance to avoid it. So he did put together some numbers, and with board direction, I can go ahead and officially draft an RFP if we'd like to see if there's anybody else in the community that could offer similar service. One thing that set him apart was he was willing to not just do an outright purchase of computers, but lease computers to us, and then every 3 years we would automatically replace it. It would put us on a rotation, so we would always have not the fanciest computers, but workable, realistic computers that are
Somewhat current.
They're somewhat current, but they're stable and they can do what we need them to do. Most importantly, the licensing of the software. because when we're trying to work in collaboration with one another, it does make a difference if we're using the same version of Word or Excel. Most of those are retroactively compatible with one another, but if we can avoid having to reformat a document with a staff of 4, you really do have to look at every single minute that it takes in creating something, and if it's an easy enough fix like that, then but he would handle our storage, all of the licensing for our software, and then we would have service hours on top of that. So if something went down, it wouldn't be one of us trying to put on our IT hat and figure out how to fix it. We could just call somebody and they can come back.
Could you put Dudley Hargrove on your list?
Mm-hmm.
He worked at the university a long time. Cheryl knows him, I'm sure. And he is independent. I recently had him come over to the Independence Manor and completely redo all of our computers and software and stuff. So he might be one to look at.
Sure, no. I need to see.
And I can give you his number.
Yeah, he's got a company name too, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's one of those
Solution. I don't remember.
initial, I have no idea what it stands for. But.
And if I remember correctly, in the last meeting, we approved money towards this endeavor with the understanding that we'd get a couple of local people to figure it out, right?
And I think maybe we've talked about this before, but I can't remember. I know the city has their own IT staff, but do they have some mechanism, like when they go out and buy computers, is there, if we were going to purchase computers, is there some way we could go with them and see if there's some sort of a volume discount that
We certainly check and see.
that may not exist, but
They do. They have a program to replace certain ones in certain departments every year, so I imagine they do some kind of purchase type.
And then maybe we just get someone, maybe compare the cost of leasing to the cost, if this could happen, of just having somebody, hiring somebody to do routine maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Good. All right.
Can I have a quick question?
Sure.
I noticed another camera in the room. Just curious. Who that is?
It's KTRE.
KTRE. Hey! Friends at KTRE?
Salutations.
Thanks for being here. Is there a reason?
They saw the agenda, and I think I've made
So a news item? Or?
the penny machine that we're
Okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry, I hope I didn't spoil something, but I had to ask.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
All right, naming of the first
boardroom. I had come to y'all before with the idea of approaching the Bright Foundation to get permission to name that first floor boardroom after Lois Marie Bright. And y'all had suggested that I craft 2 different letters, one asking for compensation in return for naming rights. I went to Mr. Jeffers with the city, and he said no, because there was a reason behind it. I think historically, some decisions had been made by the leadership of the CVB that went against building a healthy relationship with the Bright Foundation, and the city has now taken sort of a step back, and they're looking at a larger, they're trying to rebuild that relationship, and he doesn't feel like that would be a good ask. So at this point, if we just want to table it until a better time, happy to do that. It certainly wasn't a pressing matter. We can still move forward and put that on a list of things to do, or if we wanted to move forward and just name the room just out of gratitude for what the Bright Foundation has done for the community, then we could certainly do that. But that is completely at the board's direction, and staff is happy to take whatever.
I'm not understanding why he would be against naming this.
He's not against naming the room. He's all for that. He's just against asking them for money in return. If we wanted to name a room, name a room.
I agree with that. But it's just a great gesture to say
It's a good
doubt.
Yeah.
He agrees with that 100%. So if we were to go to the Bright Foundation and just ask permission to use her name, then that would be great. And then offer them, if there are things of items from the Bright Foundation that you would like, but he just didn't think that in exchange of money. I think there had been an ask in the past that didn't sit well with the Bright Foundation, and so now we're trying to take a step back and just and show, well, just show the good faith, because we are greatly appreciative of Mr. Bright and all that he's done, and for this building, and what the Bright Foundation continues to do for the community. So, what had happened is in the past, what we're trying to focus on now is moving forward and correcting things. But as I said, staff is, I'm completely happy to do as the board wants. If we just want to table it until another time, we can talk about it, or if we want to move forward and name it.
One thing I'd like to see us consider, and maybe this is not a good idea either, but I would like to at least consider it and check, see what the options are, is kind of create a development plan. There are several rooms in this building that could be named, mm-hmm. and perhaps there is another Nacogdoches family maybe that has historical items that they've gotten a closet somewhere that they would love to see displayed, and they might be willing to help us build an appropriate display case for those items. I would love to see us have an architect come in and look at this building and see if this is if the current format that this building is ideal, or if perhaps through a development effort we could ask for a donation, have an architect come in and do a plan for how it could be renovated to be more aesthetically pleasing and more of a resource, like you just mentioned, where businesses would want to come here, even local businesses would want to come here and have a meeting in the ground floor.
In the Mize room.
Yes, absolutely.
The pool.
The pool, yeah. This is the John McLaren room.
Yeah, right. This room we're in right now is the Abernathy.
We mean the Abernathy.
It's right over there.
Down to the left.
So
we'd like to make this a piece of looking at more of a development committee, and we could even make that maybe a board assignment if there was a board member.
And maybe the development committee would decide that the best thing to do is to name that room.
Yeah, I'm open to that, 100%.
That would be great, but I just would like for us to consider all of our options.
I really like the idea you had of making it part of an event, a seasonal thing that would just become another attraction for people to come to the visitor center to see. That was kind of cool.
I do too.
Well, tying the history into it, and then artifacts from that family that maybe meet that season or that event. That's a really great idea. You talk about Christmas in particular.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we could do that, perhaps regardless of the name of that room. We could still have the Lois Marie Bright Christmas.
Yeah, do it for a
festival. Yeah.
Well, we already have 9 trees in here, so we could easily have a tree in every room that's dedicated to sort of those. The families that have built Nacogdoches and that still continue to contribute. So,
but the Brights might have enough Christmas stuff just to do that room and just temporarily just do it for that day.
Well, if it pleases the board, then I can put together sort of we'll put this on hold, put this on a back burner, and attach it to more of a development thing, and I'll come up with a written out sort of plan to see, and we can discuss that at a future date. But then we'll also make plans for this Christmas to see if there's some way to honor more families.
Okay. All right. And now we're to the purchase of a penny press machine.
Well, the good news is it's cheaper than what I thought. And the turnaround time it comes from Colorado. It's 2 to 3 weeks from the time that you turn in the art design. So you just give them conceptual art, and then they translate it into what's going to press best. We have 4 double-sided designs available to us. We also have the option to purchase additional die rolls, and for a two-sided design, so it would have a design on one side, visit Nacogdoches, or visit nag.com on the back of every penny. It's about $700. So if we ever did want to move towards changing them out seasonally, we could build up an inventory of different dies so that we could do different blueberry ones. We could do 9-plex Christmas celebration. I wouldn't want to invest a lot of money in that right now. I would love to see that just be sort of self-sustaining, and as it has paid off. I think the final price was just a little over $4,000. I thought it was going to be $6,500 for just the machine. So,
And $750, you said it was dies?
$750 for a new set of dies. The dies come in a roll of 4, so you always have to do 4. And so what it does have electricity because it has a light on it, but it doesn't need electricity to run. It's in a honey oak frame, so it would fit in the aesthetic of upstairs, but it can also be moved out to the street if we wanted to for Blueberry Festival, just to get more, get more attraction to it. And it's about 24 inches wide, so it doesn't have a really big profile. I think it's going to be a really good thing.
It would run without electricity.
Mm-hmm. It's hand crank.
Right.
So somebody walks up to it, they put in 50 cents in their penny, and then they look at the available 4 designs, and they say, I want that one. They press it and crank. I think it's like an 8 to 10 cranks, and then out pops the penny, just like that. So obviously, one design is Nacogdoches' oldest town in Texas. Obviously, one is Stephen F. Austin State University. And then we've got Garden Capital of Texas, and that leaves us with a 4th design. And just a brief sort of survey on social media, overwhelmingly people wanted Charlie Doches to be that 4th design. I understand that Charlie is a dog, so don't think that I am behind that effort. But I do think that it makes sense from a tourism aspect if somebody comes in, especially a little kid, that they would want that. And the alternative would be to choose a historic site, and we're in the position where we have so many. I would hate to. Yeah. I mean, do you pick the Stone Fort and then thumb your nose at Stern Huya? I mean, it's. Yeah, there's so many.
That needs to be the next round of 4.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, yeah. And once I realized that, it took a lot of pressure off because it's not like a tattoo. It's only these 4 for the rest of your life. We do have the option to.
Well, how many options will a machine hold at one time? Will it only hold 4?
Okay.
You said the backside what will be on the
Saying all.
Yeah, we can choose whatever it is, but ideally it's probably going to be our website. But now technology is such, and I don't know how they're doing it. I didn't really ask how. I just said, oh, okay. But it'll imprint on the back whatever we want, and so every penny will have the same message on the back. You can't swap that up. But
How big is it?
the machine or the penny?
Got an idea on the machine is that?
The machine is about 24 inches wide, and then about 4 feet tall.
Okay.
So it's tall and thin, and then it's got big wheels on the back that you can lean it and wheel it.
That would make it great for a festival.
Yeah. No, it's a great thing to have.
Is there wheels on it, or is it on the back?
2 big ones on the back, yeah.
Sounds like a dolly.
So if you could roll it out during festivals or downtown events, it would need electricity to operate.
The electricity, it comes with a panel that shows you the designs that are available. And so with every die of 4 that you get, every roll of dies that you get a new thing to put a visual, and the electricity is just to illuminate that. But if you were at a festival, you can still see it.
I'm just saying that opens up a lot of possibilities. You take it down to Festival Park if you wanted to, whatever. Yeah.
So, it costs how much?
I don't have the exact. It was right over $4,000 for the machine and 1 set of 4 2-sided dies.
And then the cost to make the penny will be 50 cents.
We can choose that. It could be anywhere from 50 cents to $1.
And full disclosure, I seek these out everywhere I go.
8,000.
Have a lot. Souvenir.
And we could easily do that. We have about 1,000 visitors, so inside of a year it could probably pay for itself. And I think what we're going to see is people will come in and they won't just buy just one, but we have so many people that come in and they've got 4 or 5 kids, or the homeschoolers come in and they don't have $14 plus tax to get a t-shirt, but that's something that they can take away and they'll always remember. Anyway, I don't have to sell y'all on anything. you've already said. Are there any other thoughts on what the design should be? Is the board in agreement that we need an oldest town in Texas, a Stephen F. Austin, a garden capital, and then that random fourth that may or may not be Charlie?
All right, well, I like our logo that has some of the, it has some of the.
Yeah, that has Texas start here. The other one was,
for us.
if we wanted it to say the actual oldest town in Texas, then that's the city's logo, oldest town in Texas. Ours says Texas starts here. Or we could come up with an alternative in my head, little stars around the perimeter of the oval and just like 1779, oldest town in Texas.
I wonder if we could have Hancock do our logo, Nacogdoches, and instead of Texas starts here, could they just put oldest town underneath that? Mm-hmm. If people I'm not tied to oldest town. In fact, our research shows that with for our group that we're marketing to, oldest town is not a good thing. So, but I know there are some people who are tied to that, and if that's the...
Contractually, we're tied to it. As part of our contract with the city, when we market, we are supposed to be marketing as the oldest town in Texas.
Why don't you use that with the website on it for the back, so that's on all of them, on the back.
That's a good idea.
And then the front, you would have an option.
And
we kind of did that with, we have car wash tokens, and we put oldest town in Texas and put the state of Texas and put a star where Nacogdoches is, and it's on the back of all mine.
Okay.
And could we do a collage? Sometimes it might be too much.
On a penny?
On a penny?
Uh-huh.
That's pretty small.
Like the buildings, the historic buildings, like the Stone Fort, Stern Julio.
We could try, but I think that would be reduced to
Or
such
the
a small...
statues.
I think you'd lose it.
Yeah.
Statues might.
We could always, later on, add.
I'm sure they'll tell us.
Yeah, they'll say this is too much. And,
Statues too.
okay, and I asked Ms. Luna about Stephen F. Austin. So we had Stephen F. Austin with words, and then we just had the SFA logo, just with the state. So any thoughts about...
I think it's going to be the logo.
Just this?
I like that logo.
Yeah, because you got, words.
Okay.
Better remember, it's not this big.
Well, I'm sure it spreads it a little bit.
It makes it an oval, doesn't it?
Yes.
It just makes it an oval,
Yeah.
but it's about the same.
I have one if y'all want to look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, a sample.
I actually have a couple. I was going to add, I went to the Shreveport Aquarium, and between me and my husband, we got like 6 of these.
Oh, wow.
So that might be my selling point for you.
Pretty good.
So this would be the Charlie one. And still in the works is the Garden Capital. This is the logo of Garden Capital of Texas. Now, my daughter did these just hand-drawn renderings, but I do like her Garden Capital better.
Yeah, I like with flower, the actual flowers on it. And her azaleas would probably be a good thing, but that's
and then she did just more of a Disney-esque kind of Charlie, but I would rather stick with this brand.
Or stay consistent.
Yeah. But she did do, and this is just my mom moment. It's Surf and Steve and the waves make out SFA.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Nice.
Okay.
So do we need to make a decision on whether we want to buy a penny machine?
We've already decided that
We
we're,
have decided that?
yeah, that's a done deal. It's just the design. So I will have Hancock rework the oldest town with our logo and the oldest town verbiage. And
If you really can get it on the back, I think getting the oldest town and that website.
I've never seen the double-sided one. I've always had the single-sided.
But that means it's on every one of them, no matter which front you did, that would be on the back. I think that's a whole other, that's another space, that gives you another upwards design.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to go out. I'm double booked, but I'll turn this over to Ms. Morgan and Ms. Luna to finish out. Next is the pursuit of Texas Music Friendly certification.
Thank you, John. So much like Nacogdoches is already a certified film-friendly community through the governor's office, they have a similar project with music. And it's a very easy process to go through, but what it does, it makes you a clearinghouse then for Texas musicians to come through, and it sort of consolidates the efforts of bringing live music. There are very few communities in Texas that have done it. I think there's only 10 so far, but certainly more and more people are hearing about it and jumping on board. So,
what's the process?
You have to have an advisory committee, which this board could very well serve as, and then bring in some of the music community as well, and you come up with an agreement that you agree to, and then send it through, and the governor's office looks at your. It's not complicated. It is literally just paperwork.
Yeah. Another logo to put on there.
It's something else, but it gives us access then to a lot more Texas artists to come through. And one of the things that we need to look at building up as we move forward is our evening entertainment options, because we could bring everybody in the world here for a convention, but if all of our nighttime entertainment is contingent upon if something is booked, if somebody's playing at Bonita Hall, unless you want to go to a bar. If you want to go to Nine Flags Bar, that's great. You'll have a great cocktail. But it's that really, there's some other forms of entertainment that we can do. Or, we've got the brewery, and that's great when they do their comedy hour. But so as we move forward, we need to, expand how we look at our evening entertainment options.
Do you think we'd have community partners on Village Crossing that would want to?
I think they should certainly be part of the conversation.
They send you a list of everybody that they currently have for entertainment, so like we have a laundry list of everyone, and we just add to that list for them to.
Who are they?
The governor's office.
Okay. They provide the list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so we would add our venues to it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And then when booking agents are looking to get, or if somebody's playing in Tyler and they want to see are there available venues in the area, then.
And there's some old ones on there that we need to take off.
What now? With the CVB, the people who come in?
No.
We just encourage it.
We just facilitate.
We're just facilitating getting our assets put on in that database.
I want to use your place to be one.
And did I miss it? Is there a fee?
No fee.
No fee.
That's incredible.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
It's both free.
No downside. So do we vote now, or?
Well, what you do, like their next meeting is in Corpus Christi, so it's a one-day training. I've just asked him if there was something maybe a little closer.
Do we need a motion in order to pursue that?
We don't. If you want me to pursue it, I think it falls under the purview of marketing. It's just letting you know.
Any more designations that we can get, especially if they don't cost money, I think.
And music is hot.
Yeah, it is.
Do we need to do anything to try to help facilitate in a non-monetary way, preferably, another music festival? Because as far as I know, we're not going to have a big night type music festival anymore.
Just for me taking the temperature of the community, I think it might be too soon. I think some people got burned by that last one, and I don't know that. I just don't know that the groove is right, for lack of a better word, right now. I think it's going to take some time, and then when it is done, it is going to have to take a really, truly dedicated group of people that have a firm business plan and a firm plan of action to move forward with some financial backing. I think it would be great. I wish we could do it, but we need to repair that relationship. But we also could benefit from it. I think it makes perfect sense with the university so close. I have been in touch with there are two gentlemen in the North Houston area. They're called Inspire Productions, and they do a lot of mini festivals, and they do them really, really well. They work a lot in Spring, in the Woodlands, in Conroe. They're branching out into Bryan College Station, Austin, and Huntsville now. But they do they just did a tribute band concert or event festival. So they come in and they do it 100%. It's turnkey. You just provide them space to do it, and you help them advertise and market. They do a taco tequila. There's another T in there. Taco tequila and margarita. No, it wasn't a T. It was an M. Festival. They do a burger festival. They have like several just things that they have built up, sort of their brand. So I did reach out to them last year to see if they would ever consider coming this far. But I think with just the demographics of our population, because they're not an expensive event to go to, you kind of pay for the experience you're going to have, but there's something at every price point. And with the college here, especially, and Festival Park is the ideal location for them to go and set up. But when I say it's turnkey, they handle everything. They just need, they even secure the permits. They just need a name of who, they need Amy Mahaffey's name, and then just your help in marketing it. So that might be a good intermediary build towards that.
At least have come look. See what they think.
Yeah.
That'd be good too.
You're talking about putting the logo on some of our literature. We had talked about a pet-friendly town, and maybe did we ever find the logo that we could put on?
I'm still in the search for one. There's not one through the American Kennel Club. You would ask about maybe, certifications that we can have that were, from a big governing agency. I'm still working on the logo that we're using for Charlie and our downtown merchants.
Okay.
But I haven't been able to find like just similar to the Texas Museum.
International logo.
Right.
Like the international no diving.
Yes. But I'm still on the hunt for that.
Are you gonna, is there some way we could use the Charlie Doches to indicate businesses that are pet friendly? Like we have a sticker that they can get.
That's what I'm working on now.
Is that
okay? And it's just a matter of me sitting down and doing it. Because everything is just a little minor tweak and then looking at sizing of it. But we should be able to have that soon. And we have, Charlie is getting a lot of fan mail on his Facebook, some private messages that he's gotten some date offers from a black French poodle named Richie. He's a baby. I don't don't think I hadn't thought about that, but specifically looking, these people had, it was a very cute email. They had just come back from Galveston, where more of the restaurants were pet friendly. So, as we enter into this new fiscal year and training ambassadors and working more with retail, and we've got an affiliation now with Shop Nac First, maybe talking to some of the restaurants around that can, not all of them are set up for it, where it's an easy enough thing, but if they've got a patio, if it is really working with them to show them, just hard and fast, these are the people that have expressed interest. If you were to just, show them that they could benefit from being a pet-friendly restaurant. And I understand it's a dicey thing with food safety and sanitation, and then just the trouble of it all, but
hopefully have a little chalkboard sign that says pet-friendly and it's got Charlie's picture of it. I would like that.
Okay, any other questions about any of the items for discussion?
We had talked one time about trying to assemble a group of people to work with the car group. Have we
haven't moved forward with that yet, but it is still in the plans. Joanna is actually working with that as well, but we still need that local core group to tell us where to market. I think that's what we were going to do, but I still have that list of names to reach out to. Okay, so staff reports. First up is Stephanie with our marketing report.
We just have a couple of quick show and tell items. First, I had told you all about a project I was working on. It's a concierge book. It's another service that our staff can provide. Anything from hoteliers to guests coming in that might need information. So I was just going to pass around basically a final draft. This will always be something that we will be adding to as listings are updated. I'm just going to show you real quick. Eventually, we'll have it printed. I'd like to do magazine style for actual prints that we hand out. It will also be available as an ebook online so that local businesses and partners can download it themselves and print however they would like. It saves us money. So I just have it in these sleeves so that you can look at the separate pages. So right now it's about 27 pages long. Trying to include our campaign. Do you need information? we've got a knack for all kinds of information. So you can see when you flip through everything from annual events to where you can go to get brunch, free Wi-Fi locations, dry cleaners, things of that sort. So please feel free to thumb through and let me know if you think we should add anything else.
Is that also available electronically?
It's about to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll
Would you
have it
mind
on our
emailing
website.
that to us?
Sure.
I'd love to look at it.
Yes, I can do that.
Now, we would provide one of these to each facility who wanted one.
Yes, I think we could give it to anybody who could use it.
But not this format, but done like a magazine or.
Oh, done like a magazine?
And well, really, I think the primary focus will be having it online so that our partners can print it themselves. That way, we create it and we maintain it, but we will save funds as far as not printing, every time that we have to update a restaurant listing or something like that, because it will be updated often. But we'll have the option. I would like to give some really nice bound copies to our partners who could really use them and have a lot of visitors that they come into contact with. Second thing I'd like to pass around, our first full-page ad with our knack for that campaign. This is in the October issue of Texas Highways, so I just wanted to pass this around. I think it looks even better in print. We're really excited. This one does focus on history. That is our number one pillar, if you'll recall, from our 5 pillars of emphasis. That is our most prioritized, since that is our main focus, but we are proud of that. And lastly, I will be at the State Fair of Texas on October 6th, and during Destination Days. We have a booth for Nacogdoches once again. We'll be in the Food and Fiber tent. I believe I will be partnering with a representative from Nedco, and so we're going to try to represent Nacogdoches as best we can and take brochures and answer questions and get people to come.
What meeting is that?
That's at the State Fair of Texas, October 6th.
And that is Texas OU weekend, so it's going to be a high volume day.
Crazy.
And that is through our affiliation with the Texas Historic Commission's the Forest Trail.
So October 6th is Destination Days?
Well, so Destination Days, I believe it's, it's a couple of weeks, and where different destinations set up every day in the Food and Fiber tent, and that's just our particular day.
Yeah, it's 13 days in different communities across Texas. There's 254 counties in Texas, so not every community was able to secure this, but I was literally in SMA Chamber Connection meeting when the email came through, and I secured our date so that we could get Texas OU weekend day. But it's a $50. It's $50 and then Stephanie's travel, so it is a great opportunity to reach a lot of people.
And is it close to the trail area?
It is in that booth. Uh-huh.
The wine tent, by the way.
And also that day, just coincidentally, I wish I could say it was planned, but Daddy Seasoning will be there tasting that day as well. So there will be several different Nacogdoches touch points inside that Food and Fiber tent on that day. So
That's it.
Thank you.
Miss Joanna.
Hey, I've got my lead summary in here. It just pretty much shows what we've got booked through next year, just in the fiscal year. For some reason, I'm not sure why, but what I wanted to talk about specifically isn't on there, which is my retired Air Force nurses. They're coming in next week, and they actually will be using this room downstairs for a meet and greet. We're having it catered. We're going to be watching the film that's down here, and then also the lost footage film. Okay. And I'll be standing up trying to talk about history and being somewhat of a mic, but I've asked him to put together some information for me. So that's really cool that they're coming from San Antonio. I did want to, Jack mentioned the automotive market. Nolan, which is the account that is our lead generator provider, they are helping me hone down an automotive list for these classic cars. So we will actually be able to target them and call those that we can come up with, in addition to getting a group here locally to connect the dots. So we have a resource to be able to send. Also, Steph and I have gotten together. I'm going to start in October doing a monthly sales e-blast, which will cover the pillars and then one that we haven't defined yet. So basically, she's going to create these headers that are going to support the marketing campaign. but we will be touch marketing every month to the sales list that I've had with different subject matters for 6 months, and then we're going to repeat them again. And we'll just continually add to that. This list, I get more exposure through NOAA. So that's a learning process that we're getting their knowledge and their contacts, but more that pertain to those that we know want to come to Nacogdoches or potentially can come because of size and what they're up to. We actually have the El Camino group. I'm on the marketing committee for El Camino, so they will be here at the first week in October speaking at the Downtown Merchants meeting. If anybody wants to come, we're going to just kind of bring it all home and talk about what the El Camino is on the east, where it all started, Nacogdoches, through the parishes, and talk about the success of how they've done sell on the trail. Not that we'll necessarily do anything more with that, but they're going to talk their story. What else do I have? Sherry and I have got together, and we're now ready to rock on our goodie bags and our tiered levels. Right now, we're going to honor folks that are requesting goodie bags just so we can provide that service. Not necessarily about the rooms yet, but more about the people that are coming here. I mean, we've got 130 people coming to town this weekend. This is on top of Parents' Day, as well as there's another event that's happening this weekend. The hotels are completely booked for Friday, Saturday night. I can share with you that they have had their best July and August in a very long time. We'll see those reports as they come out. We've decided that on November 2nd, which is the weekend of the Day of the Dead Festival, we're going to support that weekend by having a wine, whiskey, and brew that Friday night. We have done a lot of work around the Day of the Dead and feel that next year we're going to have an even better opportunity in growing that as an anchor event in the fall and just not a one-day event. We're working with Jessica South from our historical sites, as well as the library, who has lots of support from their foundation. And then finally, this destination storytelling. Ms. Wanda was so wonderful over the summer to create this fabulous narrative that does tell a lot of story of the people of our past in Nacogdoches, of which we are going to utilize within our meeting planner, as well as our sales pitch and email blasts. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Mike's report is included in here. We have about 746 walk-in visitors, a handful, I think 3 international visitors as well. Mike leaves Friday is Mike's birthday, and he's chosen to not spend it with us. He's leaving. His vacation starts on Friday, and he'll be away for the better part of 10 days, I think. So we will be, as always, trying our best to pull things together without him. But
I worked up here Sunday and had somebody come in from the UK. I don't know what the UK means anymore, but it was one of those things where I speak East Texan. He was speaking English.
Really?
It was difficult for me to understand what he was talking about.
That's funny.
But we'll just find out. He was here.
Just to tie up a few loose ends in the director's report, Stephanie had a conversation with George Hooker. We're going to do a professional video with him. We're looking at having a long video that could be broken down into 1 minute, 2 minute, into smaller segments so that we can use that to help promote as well. He does such nice work, and they worked out a really affordable rate that we can utilize. Last month, Stephanie and I went to the Texas Association of Convention and Visitors Bureau's annual conference. We submitted 4 items in competition, and we won 2. People's Choice for 2. One was the marketing plan from last year, the marketing campaign with Hancock. And then the second was Joanna's wine, whiskey, and brew tour for tourism awareness. So we were really, really, really proud to bring those awards home. And
Very good.
yeah,
I'm disappointed the Barnfield Trail didn't bring home an award.
I will tell you, the competition was really, really stiff. You had a lot of communities that were so deeply impacted by Harvey that had shown such tremendous recovery and spirit. You would have been hard pressed to. I mean, the Barnfield Trail is amazing, and we get people. Just yesterday, people were coming in asking about it, but it was some stiff competition.
And we get people too in our office.
Yeah.
Specifically for that. So it definitely is getting some attention.
And it's something that it's a learning process for us. I know Joanna and Stephanie are looking at breaking down into different quadrants the map to find the barn quilts. And
we want one on the lakes. That'd be cool. A paddling barn quilt.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Can I ask a quick question or mine? Sure. And it might be Stephanie's area. But since this group in the past had discussed the promotion or fostering of RV traffic, I just wanted you to know that there is a brochure now created. I saw it when I was up here. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Kristen, our last intern, she worked on that before she left, so we're happy to have that.
Is there a way we could help distribute it, or is there a way it's distributed to that market, or is it just here for people to pick up?
It's just here right now. We could certainly ask the travel information centers around Texas if they would like to keep it in stock, and we could do that. But yeah, I don't know of a good location to direct those.
I missed what you initially said. I'm sorry, I got distracted by myself.
Well, actually, I think you're the one that had brought up the RV park,
yes.
Market, the draw, and that kind of thing. And they have a brochure now available.
We have a brochure upstairs that has all the RV parks.
That promotes our RV.
Okay, good. Good.
Option, yes.
Did you notice if Eagle Nest was in there?
It was not.
Okay. That's because it's new enough.
Okay.
Yeah, when we reprint,
and they are pretty close to a resort, or trying to get there.
Well, they have that venue.
And a 14-acre private lake.
Yeah. They just don't have the trees around them.
Okay. We are in partnership now with the reboot of Shop Nac. So those initiatives will be coming out soon to educate and encourage the community to shop Nacogdoches first, and encourage those buys from small businesses. So excited about that partnership. Also was asked to join the effort with Judy McDonald, Mayor Brophy, Stephen F. Austin, and NISD. This marks the 25th anniversary of our relationship with Japan. We have a sister city, Amami, in Japan. 8th grade students in Nacogdoches have the opportunity to do a smaller exchange program. I think it's just 2 weeks. But that has been a long-standing relationship between the city and the university and the school district. On October the 14th, a delegation from Japan will be coming in town, and I believe they have canceled the city council meeting on the 16th. The CVB will be facilitating a street barbecue on Pilar Street. We're going to close it down and have donated barbecue. Austin Heights is going to be smoking meat for them. We're going to just show them just a good time.
What Texas barbecue?
What Texas barbecue is. And it's open up to the community, anybody that has taken part across the 25 years in that exchange program that might still be in the area. There's free tickets available on Eventbrite. People do need to just secure a ticket so we know how many people we're going to feed. So anyway, that's just, if you hear that I've been hanging around those people, that's why. No other reason. And I believe that's about it. If Mrs. Luna would like to take over for Mr. McLaren and designation of time, date, location of the next meeting.
I believe our next meeting will be at this location on October the 17th at 8:30 a.m. I'm not mistaken. And I would like to take this opportunity to say what a fabulous job I think you all are doing. I'm very pleased.
I second that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are no other items of business?
actually just remembered something. We just got the STAR report in last night. I tried to print it out, but it was being cantankerous. We were down in August by 0.5% over, it's 0.5%, but our running 12 months is still up 10.5%. So for the year, we're still good. But no, that's occupancy in our hotels, not counting the Fredonia. They're still not reporting to Smith Travel. But
can you tell the quality or the Mammoth one? Is that on the report? Is that showing?
I didn't look at that page of it. I don't think it's that. I think there is this thing called the summer slide. I was expecting it in July, quite frankly, and then July numbers came in so strong. But specifically for August, because you've got varying school date start times, and people just stop traveling because it's hot. But they're also getting ready to go back to school. If you've got kids in band or sports, then those camps start. So that's just when things start to get busy and vacation takes a backseat. But so I was surprised it wasn't more, quite frankly. I mean, I was sad to see it in the negative. You never want to see that. But so far, that's our only negative month, and it was just by 0.5%. But looking at the overall picture, we're still really, really healthy. So that was a good sign.
And I did want to say one thing about the university. I'm working with the College of Business to try to promote business within the business school, and that's one of their directives now. So I had a client call, and we were able to, he has a local client here, and this gentleman was from Nashville. So his partners were out of Chicago and St. Petersburg, Florida. They all flew as close as they could, drove here for an all-day meeting, and they gave nothing but accolades for us doing that. And they're in turn going to establish with Dean Bisbee opportunities for internships and potential hires. Yeah, that's really good.
Thank y'all all for coming. Appreciate your time.